So we're halfway through the GB3 season. How can you reflect on your journey so far?
Yeah, I mean, it's a huge step going from F1 Academy, of course, as that's what I was doing last season. The car's obviously much bigger, tracks a lot more technical, but in hindsight, it's amazing because I get so much track time. That's really fast-tracked my progression this year in sense of, competing in a higher playing field with more competitive drivers. I think it's the best place to be in as a junior driver and developing and learning from my teammates as well. And of course, Elite Motorsport, they're a very competitive team competing in both GB3 and GB4. So I think overall this package has just been everything I've been dreaming for, actually. I can't believe I'm here. So much gratitude for this opportunity that has been given to me.
We've just come out of a summer break. What have you been doing throughout that time to rest and reset ahead of the season?
I have been taking care of myself. I think that's definitely the first bit. Athletes, they push and push until they break. So I think it's always, training is important and pushing yourself is important, but, just as much, it's also important to take a step back. When you're struggling mentally, physically, it's knowing when to take those little breaks so you can go the distance. It's a marathon, not a sprint. So I think, just over the break, I've been, doing little bits that makes me happy and makes me me. So a bit of that grounding. And I think that's so important, especially when you're living race weekends to race weekends, weeks to week. It's like you never really have a good sense of time. So it's important to appreciate when you do have those time offs. And that's exactly what I've been doing.
Exactly what is needed, exactly. How has the transition been from Formula One Academy into GB3? How has that felt now that you've had a couple of races under your belt?
It's huge. I think the step, you can't really quantify it. There's no numbers that, can differentiate the two, but for sure it's been astronomically different in the sense of the car itself. It's bigger, it's faster, it's quicker, there's more downforce, which makes it so much more physical. I'm competing in a mixed grid, which means that the level of competition is also way higher. It's through the roof, really. We're racing at circuits where it's very technical, like, for example, Brands Hatch. It's not a Grand Prix circuit, so it makes it very, very difficult and leaves, little to no room for error, which is the beauty of racing in Formula One circuits. There's lots of runoffs, so you can make a mistake and not be penalized for it. I think that's been the biggest challenge this year.
Well, organisations like Driven by Us, Formula One Academy have done such a great job at providing opportunities for women within motorsports. How have organisations like this supported your career progression so far?
Well, you always need organisations to really champion and fuel your dreams. I think without all these people rallying behind you, you can't. It takes a village to build a champion. And in every champion stories, you need your team. You need your people. You need to find people that will be there through the highs and lows and support you, even when you're not winning, right? And I think that's what F1 Academy has always been about. It's supporting talents that has so much to give, but they don't really have a platform to show it. With F1 Academy, I just came in there and I was unapologetically me.
Period.
And it's paid off, I guess. It's gotten me this far, and I drove my heart out every single race, and I think that's what it is. It's championing stories that is unheard of and untold. So it's everything, especially in this sport.
Exactly. And look, now we've got so many people out here cheering you on at Brands Hatch. This is so exciting. As a Filipina driver, you represent both gender and cultural diversity, which is incredible within motorsport. What does that responsibility mean to you?
Oh gosh,
it's a heavy question.
It's quite. I feel like the weight on my shoulders. I mean, it's huge. To pursue a sport that's never been tackled before, and not just that, but it's never had this much spotlight on it as well. So you're constantly learning and making mistakes in front of crowds, in front of millions of people. But you're bound to make a mistake because this path that I'm forging for myself.
No one's
made the path for me. So I've had to forge it with my own hands along with my team. So you'll make mistakes, you'll take the wrong turns, you'll end up crashing and spinning and everything else, right? But I think the best bit is that I've made my career my own. And I think as someone who represents, equality, and obviously coming from Philippines, a developing country itself where the sport is unheard of. I think, for me, making my career my own was everything, because I didn't follow no rules, I didn't follow the book, I didn't follow what everyone else told me to do. So I think that's a message that I want to share across, that if there was a legacy I could leave behind, it'd probably be that.
Yeah.
I think it's the fact that nothing can ever hinder your dreams, nothing can ever stop you. You are your limiting factor, and the ceiling's through the roof. It's like there's no ceilings, you got to break it.
Break that glass ceiling.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, looking ahead of the rest of the GB3 season, what are your kind of goals?
I mean, short-term goal is definitely to keep progressing. I think the tough bit with the GB3 Championship this year is that all the tracks I'm racing at, all very new to me.
Yeah.
Like Brands Hatch, Donington, Silverstone, very British tracks.
They are. British weather.
Yeah, British weather. Yeah, it's a bit of a you never know what you're gonna get kind of thing. But I think it's definitely made me so diverse as a driver. My driving technique, I've become so much more well-rounded as an athlete. Every curveball I get, it's like having another tool in your toolbox. Next time you come at it, you approach it, you got the experience backing you. And I think that's the best bit going into next season, that I've got this experience under my belt, that I'll no longer be a rookie, this being my rookie year in GB3 and competing with second-year drivers. It's tough. So I think that's definitely the short-term goal. Just try to learn as much as I can every time I get every corner and every lap I go to. It's not to prove something, but it's to learn from it.
Yeah.
And obviously the goal is to get back to GB3 or in the same category next year, and hopefully try to get back to the F1 stage and race in F3 and F2.
Yeah. Well, speaking of new opportunities, you recently joined Formula E as a development driver. Congratulations.
Thank you.
What excites you most about working in the electrical space?
Well, I think just with how much they're empowering women in the sport.
Yeah.
I think Formula E was the first and only all women's test held by the FIA. Yeah. It was in Jarama, Madrid. Valencia. Jarama, Madrid last year.
Yeah, Madrid.
All women's test. It was unheard of. There was lots of skeptics about it and everything, but we made it happen, and it's been a very, very successful test, and that's now fueled future endeavors for Formula E, such as signing like me and Abby, being part of the Formula E team as reserve drivers. I myself, I'm a reserve driver and development driver for the team, so being able to work hand in hand with the engineers, developing the sim, developing the car, and getting actually behind the wheel is the best part. I had done the rookie test in Berlin a couple months ago, and I think that was an incredible experience. It was a mixed grid. I was driving the same track, same equipment as the other boys, and I think that you've got the car as the equalizer, and when you've got the helmet on, everyone's all the same. And I think giving girls that opportunity to shine is amazing.
What did that moment mean to you, being on the same track with the same equipment, the same car as the men?
I think it just, I guess it's more of a statement that that there is no separation.
Yeah.
F1 Academy is a platform to help you reach greater heights. So then give you that opportunity to be with men and to compete in the mixed grid. And that's exactly what F1 Academy has given me, and that's why I was able to get that test in Berlin. So I think it speaks volume that these incremental changes every day happening with initiatives and foundations and opportunities for young girls, all of them together can be something groundbreaking.
Yeah.
And I guess that's what we're doing.
Yeah. Future Motorsport's very exciting. Can't wait. Wishing you the best of luck this
Thank
weekend.
you. Thank you
Appreciate
so
it.
much.
No worries.
Thank
you.